Hello, this is Dana Hawke, and we're going to have a story time today about rattlesnake. And rattlesnake is a word that can evoke fear and nervousness in people, and people have strong feelings about rattlesnake. I have probably only seen rattlesnake a few times, but rattlesnake does live in our home in Marin. So that's a relative of ours in the Marin area, and they're pretty shy creatures. So you may never see a rattlesnake, but they're there. And this is a story by Peter Bluecloud of the Mohawk Nation that I wanted to share. For a lot of tribes, rattlesnake is a really good relative. And for my tribe, Choctaw tribe, rattlesnake is really significant and very revered and beloved. And the reason why is because for the Choctaw people, farming and gardening has always been a really big skill. And the most important crop is tanchi, otherwise known as corn. So tanchi, corn, the most important food. And if something were to happen to a crop, then that would be really a big problem for Choctaw people. And what loves to eat corn is mice. But what loves to eat mice are rattlesnakes. So that is part of the reason why rattlesnakes are so loved, because they help us stay fed. And so much so that back in the day, a lot of the Choctaw farmers would have rattlesnake tattoos painted on their ankles. And I think that was a double thing of revering and respecting the snake and letting them know. And also maybe I was thinking, like, as they walked down their rows of corn, maybe to show the mice, here comes rattlesnake. And so that is our tribe's relationship with rattlesnake. And here's another story about rattlesnake that I'll share. So thank you to Peter Bluecloud. So before rattlesnake was called rattlesnake, he was called the beaded one, because he had these beautiful, and has these beautiful designs on his back that can look like beautiful beadwork. And one day, the beaded one woke up from a nap and he had a horrible toothache. Or I should say, horrible teeth aches, because it ached on each side of his jaws. Oh, the pain, the misery. He was in such terrible pain. And he was so worried that he was going to lose his two beautiful big teeth. And so he went off to talk to Coyote and tell him his problem. And Coyote said, I think I have an idea. And Coyote sewed two tiny little patches, and they were put in behind the beaded one's two aching teeth. And they kind of absorbed and held the poison and kept the pain at bay. Rattlesnake was so happy. Not only that, he was free of pain, but he found out that when he went hunting, all it took was a tiny little bite of his dinner to paralyze his prey. And so he didn't have to work very hard to hunt for his food anymore. The only problem was, after a few months, Rattlesnake became very fat. He became so fat from his easy hunting that he couldn't fit into his winter lodge anymore. So he had a new problem. So he went off to Coyote, and Coyote said, "That is a problem, and I have no idea what to do about it. How about we sing together, and maybe the answer will come through a song?" And so Rattlesnake, the beaded one at that point, and Coyote sat together, getting ready to sing. Coyote got out his water drum, and he handed Rattlesnake the rattle, and Rattlesnake took it in his mouth, and they tried to sing a song. But Rattlesnake couldn't sing very well with a rattle in his mouth. So they both stopped and looked at each other, not sure what to do. Well, Coyote Woman was in the next room, and she was stirring her acorn mush in her basket. And she was thinking that that song sounded terrible because Rattlesnake couldn't rightly sing. And so she said, "I know what to do for you guys." And she went in the next room with a piece of sinew, and she wrapped the rattle around Rattlesnake's tail. And then they sang again, and it was beautiful, because Rattlesnake now had his mouth freed up, and he could rattle his rattle that was tied to his tail. And Coyote said, "I have a great idea. Let's make that rattle stick." And so he sang a long, powerful power song that made the rattle become part of Rattlesnake's body forever. And he said, "This is great. Now what's going to happen is not only can you sing beautifully with this rattle in the background, but when you hunt, it's going to give your prey a little bit of a warning. So you're going to have to work harder to get to those animals, and you're never going to be fat or not able to fit into your winter lodge again." Perfect! Coyote was happy. Rattlesnake was happy. Coyote was so happy with himself, he went and told Coyote Woman, "Aren't I a genius? Oh my God, I came up with the best idea." But she was busy stirring her acorn mush, and it didn't matter anyway, because Coyote was busy with thoughts of himself and how wonderful he was. So that is the story of how the beaded one became Rattlesnake. And so if you're ever walking in the park or hiking around and you hear a little rattle, that's our friend Rattlesnake, letting you know you might be coming a little too close to him. Thank you.